The orbital shuttle hummed with the quiet efficiency of modern spaceflight as passengers filed through the boarding tube. Rena Caldwell adjusted the collar of her grease-stained work jacket, still bearing the logo of Titan Station's primary repair bay. She'd been working double shifts for 3 months straight to afford this ticket first class, no less. A rare luxury for a mechanic, but she'd earned it. She found her seat 2A and settled in with a satisfied sigh. The plush synthetic leather was a far cry from the magnetic workbenches she spent 16 hours a day hunched over. Through the viewport, she could see the gleaming arc of Saturn's rings, a view that never got old no matter how many years you spent in the outer colonies. "Excuse me, ma'am?" Rena looked up to find a flight attendant, her expression professionally apologetic. Behind her stood a dragon, not the mythical creatures of Earth's ancient stories, but a draconis, one of the reptilian species from the Flame Nebula cluster. This one was old, his crimson scales dulled to rust in places, one wing folded awkwardly against his massive frame. The other wing was missing entirely, replaced by a sleek prosthetic that clicked softly with each movement. "I'm terribly sorry," the attendant continued, "but there's been an issue with the cargo hold pressurization. We have a passenger who requires first-class accommodation due to medical needs." She gestured to the dragon. "This is Tharos, veteran of the Andromeda border conflicts. His prosthetics require climate control that's only available in this section." Tharos' golden eyes met Rena's, and she saw something there: pride struggling with necessity, dignity fighting embarrassment. His translator collar crackled to life. "It is not required. I can manage in standard seating." The tremor in his massive claws told a different story. Rena had seen that look before. Her father had worn it when he'd returned from the Proxima campaign, refusing help he desperately needed because accepting it felt like admitting defeat. She stood immediately. "Take it," she said. "I insist." "Human, I cannot." "You can and you will." Rena grabbed her small duffel. "I've been sitting all week anyway." "Could use the walk to economy. Stretch my legs." The dragon's translator remained silent, but something shifted in those ancient eyes. After a long moment, Tharos inclined his head, a gesture of profound respect among his kind. "Your kindness honors your species." Rena waved it off and headed toward the economy section, ignoring the flight attendant's grateful smile. It was just a seat. No big deal. Economy was packed, every seat filled with miners, traders, and families heading in system. Rena squeezed into 47C, wedged between a sleeping Centauran and a human teenager who immediately plugged back into his AR visor. She pulled out her datapad and tried to make herself comfortable for the 8-hour flight to Jupiter Station. 4 hours in, the ship lurched. Emergency lights flashed red. The captain's voice crackled over the intercom, struggling to maintain calm. "All passengers remain seated. We have encountered a ... situation." Through the viewports, Rena could see them, 3 Marauder-class raiders, their hulls painted in the chaotic patterns of the Void Reapers, the most vicious pirate clan in the outer systems. Their weapons ports were already glowing hot. The shuttle's automated defenses were civilian-grade, meant to deter asteroids, not military hardware. They wouldn't last 5 minutes. Panic rippled through the cabin. Parents clutched children. A businessman near Rena was frantically trying to transmit messages, though they were too far from any relay for help to arrive in time. Then Tharos appeared. The old dragon moved through the cabin with surprising speed despite his prosthetics, his remaining wing tucked tight. He reached the emergency manual override panel and tore it open with one claw. "Captain," his translator boomed, amplified through the ship's systems. "Grant me weapons control." "We don't have weapons," the captain's voice came back, strained. "This is a civilian vessel. You have me." Before anyone could process what that meant, Tharos began rerouting the shuttle systems. His claws danced across interfaces designed for human hands with practiced precision. Rena recognized the configuration. He was converting the entire waste disposal system into a makeshift mass driver. She unbuckled and pushed forward. "You need a targeting solution." Tharos turned, recognition flashing in his eyes. "You are the mechanic who gave her seat, and you're a veteran who knows how to fight. I know shuttle systems. Let me help." For a moment she thought he'd refuse. Then he nodded curtly and made room at the panel. They worked in synchronization, Rena's intimate knowledge of civilian spacecraft meshing with Tharos' decades of combat experience. She rerouted power from life support. They had hours of reserve oxygen, while he calculated firing trajectories that would have been impossible for the shuttle's basic computer. The first raider moved in close, confident in an easy target. "Now," Tharos growled. Rena slammed the release. Compressed waste canisters, each massing several tons, shot out at velocity. The raiders' shields were calibrated for energy weapons, not kinetic impacts. The canisters punched through like bullets through paper, tearing into the hull. The raider spun away, venting atmosphere. But the other two were adapting, spreading out, preparing to flank. The shuttle couldn't maneuver fast enough to target both. "Engine plasma," Rena said suddenly. "We vented in a controlled burst, create a particle screen. They'll have to slow down or their sensors will fry. And we will be blind as well," Tharos countered. "But we know where we are." "They don't." The dragon's lips pulled back, revealing rows of crystalline teeth. A smile, Rena realized. "You think like a warrior," Rena Caldwell. They vented the plasma in a massive cloud. Sensors across the shuttle went dark. For 30 seconds they flew blind through a glowing fog of superheated particles. When they emerged, Tharos had already calculated the raiders' most likely positions. More waste canisters launched. One raider took a direct hit to its engines and began drifting. The third, seeing two of its companions disabled, cut its losses and fled. The cabin erupted in cheers. Tharos slumped against the bulkhead, his prosthetics overheated from the rapid movements. Rena steadied him, surprised at how much heat radiated from his scales. "You could have stayed in first class," Tharos said quietly. "You would have had the best chance at the escape pods had we failed. And miss this?" Rena grinned. "Besides, someone once told me that warriors look out for each other." The dragon's translator crackled with what might have been laughter. "I said no such thing." "No, but my dad did. He served with Draconis units at Proxima. Said they were the best soldiers in the galaxy." She met his eyes. He was right. When they docked at Jupiter Station, Rena found her account had been credited with a full refund and an upgrade to diplomatic class on any future flight. A message accompanied it, from the Draconis merchant fleet, with gratitude for protecting one of our honored veterans. But the real gift came when Tharos found her in the station's main concourse. "I have been offered a security consultant position," he said, "for the Jupiter freight lines. The pay is substantial." He paused. "They require someone who understands both combat systems and civilian vessels. I recommended you." Rena's eyes widened. "Me?" "A warrior knows another warrior, regardless of uniform." Tharos extended one massive claw. "Will you stand with me again, Rena Caldwell?" She gripped his claw, feeling the warmth of his scales, the strength still present despite the years and scars. "Hell yeah. Sometimes giving up a seat means finding your true destination."